Hi everyone, today I wanted to show you, it's not really a tutorial completely, and it's not really a review, but I get a lot of questions about how I make the flower center without a cutting machine. So one thing you can do is you can use a regular pair of scissors, like this one, or you can use a pair of Fringe scissors, which is what I have. Other ways are using a rotary trimmer and cutting one cut at a time, and also a ruler and X-Acto knife, also cutting one line at a time. But the thing about Fringe scissors is that it has multiple blades. This one has 5 blades. Sometimes you can find them called herb scissors, so just to cut herbs, but this one is a Fringe scissor. I bought this particular one at Joann's.com. If you are looking at your local Joann's, make sure that the store has it available. It's not at every store, but they are just called Fringe scissors. This is by the EK Tools line, and I kind of wanted to show you what it looks like when you make it with this Fringe scissor, and some limitations that I found from it. But this is what the packaging looks like. And this is what the scissor looks like. It's like a regular scissor, except that it has 5 blades. And so you can imagine that if you're making a fringe cut, it would be a lot easier than just using a pair of scissors with one that makes one cut. So the easiest way to start is with a piece of paper. I had an 8.5 by 11, and I cut it in half. And what I want to do is just fold this piece in half, and so this is a half sheet of a 8.5 by 11, and I'm folding it in half. I'm just going to use my bone folder to give it a nice score line. And with the pair of Fringe cut scissors, all you need to do is just cut. You'll have to apply a little bit more force than normal, but it can give you a cut like that. So rather than doing that 5 times, you can do it once. And you just do this along the entire strip. And with the last few pieces, I actually just finished with a regular pair of scissors. So you can see it makes a strip like this that was fairly quick and painless. What you can do, just open that up, flip it around, and then with the glue gun, just add a line of glue, glue the 2 sides together, and make your center by just rolling it. I like to loosen it up just a little. Alright, and that gives you a nice little center like this. You can make another sheet, doing the whole process over again and just adding to it. I'll do that really quickly. And there you go. So this is with 2 sheets, or 1 full sheet of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I made that in maybe just a couple minutes, and so having this fringe scissor really helps when you're making flower centers of this style, which look great in any rose. But I do want to say some limitations of this scissor, and this is not to be negative, but this is just for you to be aware of. Since I make flowers myself and I have still a cameo, I just find that this helps for a lot of situations, but then also, again, may not give you everything that you'd like. So this one cuts really quickly using the scissor. One of the negatives, or limitations I'd like to call it, is that when you are folding a piece of paper, so 2 sheets, and you're using 65-pound cardstock, it can be hard to cut all the way through, so that's why you saw me put my thumb here. It's not a huge deal, you don't need to go all the way through. It makes a nice cut. You are limited to the widths that are in the scissor, so you cannot make it that much smaller unless you want to try cutting it in between, but that could be tricky. And it doesn't matter, you don't have to have the strips equal size. You don't really notice that much anyway. But the problem comes is when you want longer than this length. With a regular scissor, you can cut and then lift up and then cut further. But with a fringe cut scissor, or a fringe scissor, it's hard to do that with the strips underneath it, the ones in between, without trying to cutting those below it. So you can see that it's hard for me to keep going. And if I do, then I end up actually cutting that strip that I cut before. And I'm sure if you had a little bit more patience, that would be easier. Maybe if you were very careful. But in that sense, it doesn't really save you much time if you're trying to be really careful, because there's nowhere for these strips to go. With a regular scissor, you can see that the paper sort of, this side droops down, this side held by your finger is still up, so then it doesn't get in the way. But you don't have that with this scissor. It's too hard to keep going. So if you wanted a longer cut, then this may not be the best scissor for you. In terms of weight, it's actually a good weight, but with thicker paper, so if you are using maybe 100-pound cardstock, it might be really hard to use these scissors to cut. But with 65-pound, it cuts fairly well until the end. That's where I always put my thumb to try to press down a little bit more. But in the end, it actually works really well if you are making flower centers like this and you need to make a lot of them. It really saves a lot of time. I would recommend it for that. This wouldn't be the solution to make every single flower center with different fringe cuts. It only gets you a certain type of fringe cut. But then again, you know, this scissor is not made to make those long cuts in a paper for paper flowers, but I just wanted to make sure that that was kind of clear. If you're looking for flower centers like this scissor is perfect. I may use it too because a cutting machine isn't necessarily quicker. It cuts things for you and it's easy, but it also takes a lot of time. So if you are on a time crunch, this actually helps a lot. If you don't have a Cameo or a Cricut, then this also, again, helps a lot. In terms of price, I believe I paid $6.75 for this with discounts. I believe the regular price is $12. There was a 30% off tools plus a 20% that I applied on top of it, which made it about $6.75. And so you can always wait for sales. I know that Amazon has these for sale. You can also look at herb scissors, as I said before, that have 3 or 5 blades, but this is an option if you don't have a machine and you're looking to make quick centers like this. Please feel free to ask me any other questions that I might have missed, and thank you for watching. Bye.